Okay, welcome everyone. Thanks for joining. I hope you can hear me okay. So welcome to the first of 11 training sessions we're going to be running. You'll all have received the schedule which we mailed out. We're going to be covering basics today and then much more advanced functionality in the coming weeks. First of all, I'd like to apologise for any confusion over the daylight savings time changes. We may have missed some of you initially, or some may be missing, but we're going to be recording all of the sessions so they'll be available through the dashboard at a later stage. Okay, so let's begin. We're going to, if I just cover what we're going to go over this session, we're going to be going through creating pages in Canvas, adding graphic chunks, and then different types of navigation, menus, link chunks, graphical menus, text menus as well. And just also adding text chunk as well, just covering the very basics to begin with. Okay, so let's begin. So here we are. We've logged into our site which we've created. Actually, first of all, I'd like to mention that we've got the finished article for you all to see. This is what we'll all be working towards. So if you can all go to go.wappa.net/kaching, K-C-H-I-N-G, and there you'll be able to see exactly, actually I'll show you here. So here we go. This is the site which we'll all be working towards. You'll all be able to see the various functionality here, store locator, products. And so we'll be focusing today on this home page. We'll be adding a graphic. We won't do it as a link chunk straight away. I'm just going to show you the very basics on adding a graphic. Then we'll have menus, link chunks as well, and we'll be missing off the Facebook like for this session, as we'll be covering it later on. There's also that extra menu. The click to call will also be covered in a later one. I think that's the third webinar in which we'll cover that. And there we have our text menu and our text chunk at the bottom, which we're going to add. So we'll focus back on Canvas. You should all be at the stage now where you've got to this blank site, which you've created through your dashboard, and you'll have the graphics which are uploaded. So within Canvas, we can go to Edit Design, then Graphics, and we'll see there we've got all of our graphics in the repository. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is start adding the pages. You'll all have this page 1 to begin with. This is the screen again, just so you all know where I am. Edit, build, then pages within Canvas. So first of all, you'll see we've got page 1. This is just the default page which you'll all have, and it will have the page 1 title, which can be changed, and all of these individual tabs, which are settings which can be applied to every page in Canvas. Okay, so first of all, we're going to start adding our pages, giving them names. So we want this page to be our home page, so we just type in home. That's the name of this page that we want to call it. So type in home, apply the changes, and if we expand this, we can give the page a title as well. So this is the title which will show at the top of your browser when you're viewing that page. Okay, so we'll just add second page. I'm going to call this, products. And we can just click the green plus button to add that. And you'll see that's been added as the second page. And as it was added through this add a page functionality, the title was also added. So we can go back up to the top left and just add the rest of the pages. So just add that as videos. Next one, terms and conditions. Let's click again to add. Then next one, privacy statement. Next one, locator. And the next page, fan mail. The next page, buy wheel. Then car shows. And finally, utility page. And so, first of all, I should explain that this is the long way round of doing things. You can, there are various ways. You'll see here in the page options, now we've got some. There is functionality to duplicate a page, which is often useful where you've done considerable work and got considerable content on a page and you want to have and use that as a template. You can just duplicate that page and that will turn up there. So that saves some time whilst you're building. But first of all, we just wanted to show you how this was done. And the reason why I've added all of these pages, so these will all be blank pages to begin with, but we want them there so we can link to them and refer to them when we're building our links and our menus. Okay, so we can now go into edit the home page. Let's first of all just check, view all to check if you're building along as we do this. These are all the pages you'll need. Okay, so we'll go in to edit the home page. So what we want to do, we're still on, just to reiterate, we're still on edit, build and pages, and we're going to go in and edit. So click the pencil icon to go into edit the home page. Okay, so this is the screen that you'll see where you're editing a page within Canvas. So here you've got the preview screen, which I'm sure your eyes will have been drawn to immediately, and that's going to display, it's not to be relied upon 100% as to how that's going to display on phones, because obviously all phones have different functionality and specifications, so it's often best to check along on your phone whilst you're building. But that's useful for a guide to how your site is going to look. Here we've got on the left hand side help documentation, which will help you along as you build your site. And here we can start adding content to the site using the chunk browser. So we can just use this drop down menu, and the first thing we're going to add is a graphic chunk, which is the logo at the top of the page. First of all, I'll just explain to you exactly what a chunk is. This is all functionality which you can add to your site. So you'll see here in the drop down menu all the various, we've got some add chunks there, maps, and we'll be covering much of this functionality in greater detail as we progress through this training session over the weeks. We'll see links here, and what we want to add here first of all is a graphic chunk. So press G and skip to graphic, and then we can press the green plus to add the chunk to a page. So here we can give the graphic a name. So this is going to be the logo, and the chunk will be active as default, and you can decide where you want it to be added. We want it to be at the top. And then here you'll see the options, style, graphics and rules tab, which applies to every chunk. We're going to stick with the default values to begin with, and from this drop down menu, this is all of the graphics which we've all added through into the repository. So we can go and select from that the logo graphic. And the graphic scale, we'll set that first of all to 100%. We're going to be covering the styling of all of these chunks in greater detail as we progress through. And so something to note, just to reiterate, you should all have these graphics uploaded, so you should all see these in the drop-down menus. Just to reiterate the graphic scale, this scale refers to the width of any device. So this is using WAPL's exhibit device detection technology, and so that's going to be referring to the width of any device which you're viewing this graphic on your page. So it will be dependent on the size of the screen which you view that graphic on. So we're going to go with 100% and just add that to the page. So here we'll see in the preview screen, just as we set that graphic 100% width, which we'll be applying some styling to later on in this session. not this webinar, but a bit later on in the webinars. Okay, so we've got our graphic chunk there. So the next thing we want to do, building up the home page as we go along, is the horizontal navigation. So we're going to have that as a menu. But the first thing to do before we add it through the chunk browser as a menu, which we'll do later on, first thing we need to do is build this menu. So if we go to Edit, Build, and then through to Menus, and we'll see here, just as many other pages in Canvas are, much the same as the graphics and so on, the pages, we can add a menu to our site. So we go up to the left, add a menu, and we're going to call it Horizontal Navigation. Just press the green plus to add that menu. And then we want to go and edit this menu. And here we'll need to add menu links. So these will be the individual links which we want on within the menu. So we go up to the top left and add a menu link. And the first one will be called Home. Press the green plus to add that. The second link is called Locator. And the third link is called Products. Excuse my typing. Okay. So we've got them all here as we see, all links added to the menu. So here you'll see I've just expanded open this menu link and we see all of these settings tabs. So we want to focus on, first of all, the link destination. So we've gone through and set all of our pages up. So you'll see here in the destination drop down all of our internal pages. So we can go straight to Home, and we've selected that, and you'll see the save icon will appear as we've made a change. So we can just click on that and that's all saved. And we want to set a graphic for this link because it's a graphical menu. So we can just select, and this is all from our graphical drop down again. So we want this to be a graphic to the button Home. And the same again for Locator. Link destination set to Locator. Save that. And the graphic. Button Locator. Save that change. Set the link to Products. And the graphic. Button Products. Okay, so that's our menu all set up. Now we want to go in back to our page to add it. So we can go to Edit, Build, and Pages. Back into our home page. And then using the chunk browser, we can just scroll down to Menu. And just add that to the page. So we're going to call this horizontal navigation. And here you'll see in our drop down we can select from the menu that we were just building. If we had other menus in that repository, we could select from that. The display mode, we want this to display horizontally across the page, 3 abreast. So if we just go to horizontal display mode, and we also want to check do graphics, as we want to select the graphics we've set up. We want to display those instead of text. Have that selected. The graphic scale, that is for each of the links individually. And so as we're going to be displaying these horizontally, and we've got 3 across, we'll set them to 30% to allow for some padding in between them. Okay, and much of these settings we can leave as default. Scroll down and add the menu to our page. And you'll see, first of all, it's come up right at the top. So we want that just beneath that Kaching logo. So we can just click and drag it below the logo, release, and then just go up to the top to apply the changes. And you'll see that reflected here in the preview screen. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is to add the individual link chunks, the screen width wide links which were placed on top of each other. So again, we can use the drop down menu, scroll down and select link. Okay, so the first one we want to add, called featured products. Just type that into the name. These names are just for your own benefit, whoever's building the site, just so you can reference within Canvas exactly which chunk is which. So the destination page we want to set to products, and the graphic we want to use for this link will be further down here. So this will be this graphic we can select home button products, and we can set the graphic scale to 100%. We may be reducing this later on. Actually, we'll set this to 90% to allow for some padding either side, so we can have 5% padding on the screen. And that should be good to add. Okay, so we'll see this has come up to the top of the page, so we can just drag it down again. We could be we could have set that chunk to appear at the bottom of the page in those chunk settings as we were adding that chunk. Okay, so we've got our first link chunk there. What I could show you now is copying a link chunk. So we can just go to the copy feature on that link, just click to copy, and we're given the option to copy it. So that's now on the clipboard. So you'll see here up at the top of the page we've got this paste option, and also down the bottom as well. So as we want this to appear beneath that, we can apply it so it appears at the bottom of the page, paste to bottom. So now we've got that copied exactly the same as the link above it. So we don't want it to be quite the same. We want this link to be the Chrome Wheels link. So we'll just call it Chrome Wheels, and we can save that change, and then set in our settings we want this to go to the by wheel page. Just save that setting, and the graphics, actually the graphic will be just further down, and that's going to be the videos link. Actually no, that is the videos link. Mistake there. The videos destination page. So that's the second link going to the videos page. Okay, and the graphic which we want for that is home button videos. So we'll just save that change, and we'll see the graphic changing over to the Chrome Wheels videos link. And as per our destination page, that's now going to go to the videos page. So then we can paste again for our third one and follow the same procedure, changing the name to car shows, going up to the save button. Then we can select the destination page to car shows, save that change. But actually what I'll show you now is that we can save several changes at once. So on the home button, car shows, that's the graphic. Okay, and so we can go up to the top, and we can press the apply changes link up at the top. And so instead of clicking these individual save buttons, you'll see as I save it here, it's going to go green on both of those settings, so that both the settings will be applied. And we'll see the graphics changed, and also the destination will have changed. So if we just contract that up, and add our final screen width link chunk. So paste that to the bottom. Okay. Just rename it. So this is our find Chrome link. Save that. And we want that to go to the locator page. And the graphic we're going to be using, home button locator. And you'll see it's maintaining all of the settings we had for the initial graphic, so it's going to be 90% of the screen width. Save that, and that's our final link chunk. Okay, and so the next thing to do is add the footer menu. So we're going to go back to our Edit Build Menus page, and we want to add a menu to our site. You'll see here we could, as we were doing with the link chunks, you can duplicate a menu. So that could be useful if you want to use a specific menu as a template, so you can copy it over and over to save some time. We're going to add another just to go over the process again. Call this the footer menu. Add that in. And then we can go and edit that menu. And we'll need to add our link chunks as we did before. So this time our links are going to be car shows. I'll just add that in. Another link, fan mail. And lastly, videos. Okay, so as we did before, we can go expand open these menu links. You'll see the label for each of these, which is when we're using, as we'll show you later, using a text link menu. So that's instead of using the graphics. These labels are taken directly from the name which you enter for each of the links. I'll show you that later on. So the link destination for the car shows, we want to go to the car shows page. And the graphic which we want to add, just to remind you all, there's going to be time for questions at the end of the webinar, so we can open it up to all of you for your questions. Okay, so car shows. Button car shows. And we can just save both of those changes, because remember we've set that destination as well. And do the same with the fan mail link. Fan mail page. And we'll set the graphic as button fan mail. Save those changes. Same again for the videos page. Button videos. Okay, so now we can go back to our home page, edit, build and pages. And we're back here. And we want to add another menu chunk. Okay, so we'll give it the name footer menu and select from our drop down footer menu. I want the graphic scale to be 30% again, as we've got 3 across, and we want the display mode to be horizontal. Scroll down the page. I didn't select do graphics. Scroll down to the bottom. Okay, so now we'll see that's been added to the top of the page. We want it down at the bottom, so we'll just click and drag, and you'll see we could place this anywhere on the page. Okay, I'll save that change. So now you'll see, just as we wanted it, our home page at the bottom. We then need to go on and add the terms and privacy link. We'll compare this to the original, just to give you all a comparison, maybe give you a chance to catch up. Go to wappa.net/Kaching. Okay. So now we'll see the original here, and we can look at the links, and they've all been center aligned and padded, and we're going to show you how to space these links out as the training session goes on through the weeks. We'll have some styling sessions. Second, we've got that Facebook light chunk there. That's going to be added later on, and the click to call also. So the next thing for us, we've added that footer menu. So the next thing is the terms and conditions and privacy statement. So we'll go back to Canvas and add our third menu. So edit build menus. Add a menu to our site, and we'll call this terms and privacy. Okay. Edit this. So this is going to be slightly different, as you'll see here. We've got text instead of the graphics which we've used, and so we won't be applying any graphics to those links. It will just make use of the text which we apply to the link chunks. Just use the text labels. So first of all, we're going to have terms and conditions. Just add that on. And next, privacy statement. Okay. And so here you'll see the text labels which we've got. We just put straight in. We won't be assigning any graphics, so we can go straight to link destination, scroll down, and select the terms and conditions page. No graphics this time. Link destination, privacy statement page. No graphics again. So we can go back to edit build pages. Go back to our home page. And then we can just add our menu again. So we can call this privacy and terms. And select from our drop down menu terms and privacy. Graphic scale, this won't be doing anything as we've selected not to do graphics this time. We still want the horizontal display mode. We can just add that to our page. And you'll see here the text, although unstyled, so we can show you how to turn it into looking like this at a later stage. Just drag this down to the bottom, save these changes. So that's jumping down to the bottom now. And so now we've got all of our links in, so we can go on to show you how to add a text chunk, how to add just some text on your page without it linking anywhere. So we can use the chunk browser again, going down to text, and just add that. And the text which we want to use is just the copyright. So you'll see this just down here. And we can actually just copy and paste. So I'm going to Control C that and just paste that into the quick text override, which is where you'll add text just straight from this field. So whatever you're putting in here will appear as text on your page. You can also use text items, which is useful. You can add those the same way in which you add graphics, and that can allow you to use multi-language text, multi-language options when you're running a multi-language site. So we'll just put in there copyright. Correct my spelling. Go down to the bottom. Add that chunk. And you'll see it's completely left aligned as default. So we need to be applying styles to that afterwards. And that's just appeared down at the bottom of the page. So that's all we're going to be covering in this session. But before we ask you questions, I'm just going to tell you what the next webinar is going to cover. And that's going to be a build with mega chunks and other page graphics. So we're going to show you how we can streamline the build of your site, make it more efficient by using mega chunks, which can group together chunks, and we'll be adding various other functionality to this site build, all working towards what we see here. Each session will build towards what we see, achieving this at the endpoint. Okay, so now I'd like to open this up to all of you for any questions you've got. If you do have a question, I'd like you to raise your hand in the webinar software. So just raise your hand, and I will come to you for your question. Okay, we're going to go to Eric here. Okay, Eric, you there? Hello? Okay, we can't hear you, Eric. Okay, we'll just go to someone else who's asked a question. Dustin. Hi, Dustin, you there?
Yes.
Oh, all right.
I might be jumping ahead a little bit, but or this may not really have anything to do with this particular website, but I noticed in your chunks pull-down menu, you have one for a Google map.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to be covering that.
I don't have that. I don't have a Google Maps option, and I was just wondering how you get that in there.
Okay, this is my fault for using my admin account. This is we are going to be covering maps, but we'll be using the location lookup chunk, which will give you the functionality which you need to use mapping and location lookup feature. So that will be under your location lookup, which we are going to be covering at a later stage. But yes, okay. Apologies for that. That is just down to confusion caused by me by using my admin account. So you'll see various chunks there which you won't all see.
We won't necessarily have. One other question I had is I seem to be missing the graphic for the car shows near you item that we put on the page.
It should all be there.
What was the name of it again?
Okay, we'll just check back. Car shows near you, so that'll be on this link chunk. button_home_car shows. But it may, I mean, all of these graphics, I used exactly the same pack that all of you guys have got, so you should have them within that zip file. It may just be worth checking back to the file and see if it was all uploaded correctly. If not, I mean, you can... Okay, cool. Have you got any further questions?
No, I don't. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Okay, so just looking back to see if anyone else has got any questions. Okay, we'll go to Sonia. Just make you a panelist and unmute you. Hi, Sonia.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. How are you?
Okay, great. Yeah, I was just wondering, I was trying to follow along with you, but I couldn't keep up. I was wondering if there's going to be a recording that we'll have access to.
Yep. Just to go over that, we are recording all of these sessions, and we'll be releasing them through the WAPL dashboard. So as you log in, you'll see that option will become available in due course. I can't tell you exactly when they'll become available, but we hope to have them as soon as possible.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Right. Okay, we'll just find someone else. Okay, we've got Stefan here. Hi, Stefan.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hi, yeah, we can. How can I help you?
All right, just a quick, hi Ed. Just a quick question. Sort of random pool.
Random pool? Oh, okay. So,
random...
yeah, sure, good question. So you'll see here, can you still see the screen? I hope I'm still sharing it. Are you able to still see that in the webinar screen? Hello?
Yes, I can.
You can? Okay, good. So yeah, we've got the random pool of graphics. If we go back to our edit design and graphics to our graphics repository, and you'll see that we can assign these to a random pool when they're added. So this is going to add a new graphic, and the random pool is where you can select a random pool. Instead of choosing a graphic within that graphics chunk, you can add a graphic to a pool initially through this screen, and then when you select that random pool, it will select at complete random any graphic which you've got in there.
Okay, that's cool. What, a couple of applications for that?
Well, it could just be to give you a bit of dynamic content when you're building a site, so the same page isn't showing exactly the same content every time. So say you're going to be showing a product on your landing page, and you don't want it to be the same for every consumer or anyone that views the site. You can just have varied graphics and choose at random from that pool of graphics which you set up.
Okay. Thanks, Ed. Cheers.
Okay, thank you. Right, just go back for some more questions. Okay, we've got Soji, make panelist. Hello?
Hello?
Hi.
Hello?
Hi there.
Yeah. Yeah, hello. My question is it's about regarding the title. You know, the title on the links. You have Chrome Wheels video. You also have Cassius near you. I'm just wondering, where did you get the title from?
So do you mean the title to call?
Yeah.
What titles? Are you talking about the names of each of these link chunks?
Yeah.
This was
yeah, you have different on the title. When you're setting up the title, you have a different name. But when it came up with a different name entirely.
It may be that you just aren't selecting the correct graphic. They should all be in that zip file that we sent through. Well, they will all be there.
But yeah, my question is the title on the screen. You have Chrome Wheels videos.
Yeah.
But when you're setting it up, you just gave me Chrome Wheels. Where's the videos coming from?
The videos is just that is what the link will be called. We can always add in the videos here just so we know exactly what it is. But it's generally just down to the way that we set up the graphics and just the names of the links themselves. So we've set that up because we want that link to go through to the video page. So it's just because it's videos of these Chrome One products.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Thanks for your question. Okay, just looking back. And we've got Michael.
Hear me?
Hi, Michael.
Hi, how are you?
We're good, thanks. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I had a
Right.
question for you. On the sites that you build with WAPL, is it possible to use them on an existing site using an m.dot subdomain?
Yeah, and we're going to be covering all of the domains and setups in that way in a later stage of this session, the training session. So we'll get there. We'll get there. I expect that
One
may
more question,
actually.
if I could.
Sorry, go on.
Is there a monthly charge for this, or?
You can, if you go on to wapl.net, you can see all of our pricing information there.
Oh, okay. All right.
It will just depend on the sort of account you wish to have with us.
Oh, all right. I'll take a closer look at that.
Okay, all right. Thanks, Michael.
Great software. Very impressed. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay. So we'll just look back, and we've got one last hand up. Oh, two more. Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Hi there. Yeah, we can hear you.
Hi.
How are you?
I just wanted to know, can we build a dynamic mobile site using WAPL, wherein, say, the viewers will have to select the country or the city first and then access the data of the site? Is it possible to build a dynamic search-oriented site?
What exactly do you mean by a dynamic search-orientated site? Just to expand a bit.
What I mean is, for instance, a viewer will, on the main page, on the landing page, there will be a select option wherein the viewers will have to select the city or the country, and then he will be directed to the information about that particular city or that particular country.
Yeah, sure. There's no reason. It might not be the way in which we're doing this site, but there's no reason why you couldn't adapt that to that sort of functionality. You could even make use of our regional controls, where we can determine using rules what exact region that you're in, and we're going to be covering that under our rules section later on in the program.
We can have a drop-down menu on the main page or landing page wherein the viewer will be able to select and then get into the site, right?
Sure. Yeah, you could have that. So you could the way in which best you could do that in within Canvas is use a feedback chunk and a drop-down menu within that. And so that would be you select from your menu, setting up with the menus in Canvas. Select from that which region you want to go to, submit, and then you go through to your regional page.
Oh, great.
But we
Thanks so
can,
much.
like I said, we can automatically do that. There's another way, but that would be leaving it up to the user to decide. But we can automatically detect where exactly that user is coming from, so we can direct them on automatically if need be. And we, like I said, we'll cover that in the rules section later on in the program.
Oh, wonderful.
Okay.
Thanks.
Any other questions?
Yeah. Not at the moment. Thanks.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. And one last question. Hello? Hello? Okay. Okay, so that's it for this session. we'll be going on to do our next webinar on Thursday. So you can check back on the schedule to see what we'll be covering there. You'll have that all in your emails. We would have sent a mail out with that schedule. So we look forward to seeing you then. Okay, thank you.